This is the Utah 5 from Italian brand Indiana Line. A vintage retro style speaker that packs an awful lot of punch for its size and more importantly for its price. So right off the bat we can see here that it has this very contemporary, very classic design, sort of very ominous of older speakers in a much more sort of modernized version. So again, it's a really nice sort of blast from the past while bringing in some modern innovations and technologies. Right off the bat, you can get a rough idea of the sort of size here beside me. Stands are roughly about 60 centimeters tall, slight bit of variation as there is some feet on the bottom, which I'll speak about a little bit later on. But overall, it's a really nice compact shape and size that will fit into a lot of homes. So as mentioned, this is the Indiana Line. Indiana Line is an Italian brand that is recently just brought to the UK here through Rad Distribution, which we're really excited to be working with because they do some really fantastic speakers, including the Utah 5, which is one of the best sellers that they have worldwide. One of the reasons for this and the reason the brand is so successful for what it does is because they are designed to bring music really to everybody. And what I mean by that is they've designed a brand that is as cost effective as possible. So again, trying to make it as accessible for as many people to really get into hi-fi. So whether it's the first system that they've had or they're just looking for something a little bit more compact. Again, just something really that is just simple, it works and fits in a space. They are European designed. So they have a thought process of making things sort of as small, as compact to fit into these European homes, while also, having a very nice, strong visual presence and most importantly, a sonic presence in the room. But that's kind of where you see the sort of size and shape of these speakers really come into play. They're designed to suit almost every single home. They've done a fantastic job of implementing the level of style and creativity into the design, while also maintaining a nice compact shape that really can fit into kind of most living spaces, things like this. As I mentioned, these Utahs have a couple of different variations that you can put them on, which we'll showcase. As of right now, for this wood finish, and again, it also comes in a nice black, which we'll focus on a little bit later on. This wood finish is set up on two front standing feet. And essentially what that does, it slightly tilts the cabinet upwards. So essentially, if this is sitting on the floor, it just redirects the sound to a really nice listening height. Indiana Line also provide an additional set of 2 feet, which can be mounted to the back of the unit. And again, what that does is it kind of levels off the top, so you have a very nice stable cabinet. But the idea behind it is then you can readjust the positioning of these speakers and put them onto a sort of small set of stands, and again, make them almost like a sort of baby floor stander. They are floor standers in their own right, but again, this just helps to raise the height a little bit if you maybe have a slightly raised seating position, or just simply you want to raise them off the floor for any given reason. The good thing about these Utahs, which are a little unlike some of the competition that they have, is that they have this dynamic ability to become both a floor stander or a stand mount as you see fit, which again is a really nice touch that the Utahs offer that not a lot of other sort of speakers, especially in this particular style, seem to offer. Now, as I mentioned, the aesthetics are arguably one of the first things we come to when it comes to these Utahs. So as I mentioned, they come in this really beautiful wood finish, which again, I think will be very popular for a lot of people because you get that really nice sort of vintage styled retro feel with them, with this beautiful black cover on the front. Right off the bat, you will see you have a 10-inch woofer, a 5-inch mid, and then a tweeter as well. So again, you're getting a really strong soundtage from all of those and really nice, impactful bass. There is 2 rear-mounted bass ports on the bottom, so again, you're getting that nice explosive punch, especially in those slightly sort of boomier tracks. And again, that's why they supply the feet for these speakers, because what you can do is mount the 2 additional feet to the back of the unit, which will slightly raise it up and therefore give you the opportunity to let that air come out and create that nice sort of bassy sound again, so they don't sound too flat. They are very, very comfortable in really any room. As I mentioned, they're very specifically designed to fit in almost every home. So again, positioning is quite convenient to them. They're not particularly picky about being too close or too far away from a back wall. They're very comfortable being closed in at the sides. they do a really good job of sort of fitting into the space, and that's through a lot of many years and dedicated designers coming up with this configuration of cabinet. So it really is some really impressive work that they've gone into. So quickly talking about some of the specs of the speakers, I'll leave them on screen so you can get a rough idea yourself of some of the finer details behind the speakers, but I'll point out a few sort of key notes that some people might be very interested in. Of course, we already mentioned previously they have the three-way design. So again, you're getting a 26mm tweeter on the top, which is a textile dome configuration. So again, giving you a really nice level of high frequency. And again, pairing it with the 5-inch mid and the 10-inch woofer, you're getting a really balanced soundstage across sort of all levels of tracks. So whether you're playing rock and roll, classical, jazz, they're very comfortable sort of swinging into every zone and offering you a really competitive, a very balanced sound, no matter what your sort of listening is. Some other points to mention, as I said, was the two color finishes. So you have a light oak, which showcased as well a black oak. So again, very good at sort of fitting into whatever sort of aesthetic or home you maybe plant them in. And one of the very important features that comes up, especially in specs, is that they are 94 dB efficient. These things can essentially play almost by themselves without very little input. So again, no matter what your amplifier is, whether you want to run valve, you want to run solid state, they're very comfortable, they're very easy to drive, they work very well. So whether or not you have an integrated, you have pre-power or a monoblock system, no matter what it is, they should be very comfortable driving those. So again, they pair very well with an awful lot of amplifiers. They're not very picky. And as I say, once you get a few hours on them, they really start to sing. So these are some of the really important specs to look out for, but overall you can feel free to look among yourselves. Again, I'll point out the size. So there you see that they are roughly about 60 centimeters tall, depending if you've got the feet on them, running about 32 centimeters in width and just under 30 centimeters in depth. So very compact, very strong, but by all stages a very present speaker, certainly one that people will notice and look out for if they come into the house to hear them. So a really strong design, but very convenient and very easy to use at the same time. So let's finish up by talking about some of the really key features that really makes this speaker particularly special. As I said, here is the black finish in it, so you get a really nice strong overall look. And the fact that you've got the versatility in both finishes is really nice because again, it sort of fits with whatever kind of aesthetic that your home or whatever you're going to be putting this into works very well. One feature that is probably the most significant of all, and let's talk about it right off the bat, is the price. Like many speakers of this kind of range, I'm sure a lot of you have a sort of preset number in your head. I'm here to tell you that that number is significantly less than whatever you're thinking. And I know you're probably wondering how that's the case, but this is a very special speaker. The Utah 5 comes in at just under £700 for a pair, which I think needless to say is an incredibly impressive price for such a speaker. When you take in the size, the shape, the sound quality that you're getting at that price, it is sensational. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of competition in that sort of market, especially for this sort of style of speaker, but they're significantly higher in price. And honestly, the Utah 5 is more than capable of punching above its weight at that price point. Some people may have some reservations as to, oh, well, why is it that price? Why is it so cheap? And it's simply because it's well designed, it's well manufactured. You know, the build quality is phenomenal on these things. And honestly, as I mentioned, they're a brand who wants to focus on giving people this high quality of sound, and they're not focused on trying to basically profitize off the market that some manufacturers may or may not be doing. They want to make sure these are as accessible as possible to as many people as possible. And that's why they've tried to create a design language and a structure that is as competitive on price as possible. So as I mentioned, whenever you're seeing these speakers come in at a sort of just under that £700 mark, these are beyond value for money. And it's very easy to see why. These are the most popular Indiana line speakers. But don't get me wrong, the range is very successful, the range is very strong. And hopefully in a few videos we'll be chatting about some of the other products in the range, but the Utah 5s definitely are one of the ones to watch, especially in this range, because as mentioned, at that price, these things seriously punch above their weight, and I think they're really going to take the market by storm here. What else? They have The Utah 5 also comes with an optional grill, which we'll showcase again. It's a nice quality of life for some people, you know, especially if you have maybe younger kids running around or pets, things like that, especially because they are a floor standing design. They are, you know, they're a little bit more present in the room. So having that little level of protection that doesn't affect the sound in any way is really convenient. So again, simply pops off with these sort of 6 small plugs. So again, very easy to pop in and out as you need. So again, if you just want to showcase some of the woofers, or again, you want to plonk it on very quickly after maybe cleaning or anything like that, very easy to take them on and off without any hassle or problem. Again, you've got 2 terminals at the back, very convenient for most systems. Again, you get some really quality terminal blocks as well. So fit obviously both a banana style plug or even a spade as well. So again, you've got that versatility in design. You're not structured to one or the other, which is really positive. And overall, they are a really impressive loudspeaker that I think are, yeah, going to be a real crowd favorite amongst hi-fi enthusiasts, and certainly one that I think a lot of people are going to get very excited about in the coming months. Of course, if there's anything that we haven't specifically covered in this video that you'd like a little bit more information on, please feel free to let us know in the comments, or get in touch with us via our website. We have multiple forms of contact via email or phone. If you have any questions that are specifically about the Utah or any of the products, obviously in the Indiana line range, hopefully in this video we've covered a lot of the key features that I think most people are going to be interested in and want to know about. But if there's anything a little bit more specific, or you want any clarification on any things that we've talked about, feel free to give us a touch. Happy to provide a little bit of information, and obviously point you in the right direction of a dealer who will be carrying these fantastic and very, very impressive little loudspeakers, and we think they will definitely make a lot of listeners very happy in the months to come. Thanks for joining us today. Let us know your thoughts on the Utah 5 in the comments. Like and share this video with a friend if you find it interesting, and be sure to check the description for more details on this product and where you can see and hear them.